Hello everyone, this is going to be a Blue Chip Championships vlog as requested. I know I've been a bit AWOL on YouTube, but I did my little Eric edit to introduce you all to Eric, and I'm going to get back into the show vlogs. So today we're leaving for Blue Chip Championships. We have hired this lorry because mine we've just broke down so many times. We could not fix the lorry, I just had to scrap it. So I've been wasting loads of money on hiring lorries because I can't afford to buy another one. Love it here for me. Anyway, so this is the lorry we're having. It's really, really lovely. It's much nicer than my original one, so it's kind of a win. But I'm taking two horses to Blue Chip, the first being Eric, of course, and the second one is Cass, who's a sales livery. So if you like the look of him, drop me a message because he is for sale. And Eric has qualified for 2 finals. He's jumping a class today when we get there, a final tomorrow. He gets a day off Friday, and then he's jumping over the weekend as well. And then Cass is doing some meters and 110s. Eric has qualified for the 110 star final and also the 95 final. So yeah, I've kind of lost my mind a bit. I'm literally jumping a 120 tonight on Eric as our opening class. Don't really know what I was thinking. It'll only be my second ever 120. Yeah, it was just a bold choice while entering, and I'm kind of regretting it now, but nothing I can do about it. I have completely packed the lorry already. It's been so hectic, I just can't be filming all of that because I'll waste so much time. But I have whipped out the camera, and I've whipped out my vlog camera. I'm not even doing it on my iPhone. I can't guarantee that it's going to stay like this because I am the most disorganised person in the world, but I'm going to make an attempt to be a proper YouTuber. So this is Mr. Cass. Hi Cass. He's a 10-year-old 16.3 warm blood. We just jumped our first newcomers together the other day, so we're jumping like 110s at the moment. He has previously jumped up to 120, but we are getting to know each other a little bit. But he is for sale. He's a lovely, lovely boy, and you'll get to know him a bit more during this vlog. And obviously next door is Mr. Eric, and he's the best boy in the world. Yes. So I'm going to get these two ready, and then the lighting's a bit bad. And then it will be time to load and go. It's about 3 hours to Addington, which is where Blue Chip Championships. I actually just shit myself. Fucking pigeons. Anyway, back to the vlog. It's about 3 hours to Addington, which is where Blue Chip Championships is being held. And we live in Doncaster, which is up north. So let's go. So Eric has these brand new snazzy travel boots because I really wanted to find a pair of travel boots that keep his legs cool, because you know when you travel in the middle of the summer and it's boiling hot and you have fluffy travel boots and you're thinking, do I want to protect their legs while travelling or do I want to keep their legs cool? This isn't sponsored, by the way. I'm just yapping, to be honest. Just yapping away. But yeah, this is my first time trying them. But they look really cool and they seem protective, like a good combination of protective and also not too thick that they're going to heat the tendons up. So this is going to be Eric's first time wearing them. He has quite little legs, so sometimes it can be hard for me to find the right size because although he's 16 hands, so he's a horse. You know, he should be horse-sized things. He's got very dainty legs, so like boots and everything he wears in like a medium or a cob size because he's a very dainty little guy. But these seem to be a good fit, so that's a win. I don't really know how Blue Chip's going to go, to be honest. Eric has been amazing this year, like he's not had any meltdowns. If you followed Eric's journey, you know that he could be quite sensitive. But he does struggle in big atmospheres, so this is exactly the type of show that I wouldn't be shocked if he had a bit of a meltdown at, because it's a really big atmosphere. The arena's really spooky. It's like decked out with like banners and big plants and like trade stands and all of that, so I don't know how he's going to cope with all of that going on. So I've just got my expectations low. We're honestly just going for a good time. I'm not going to get too hopeful just because I do have a feeling he's going to have a little bit... I just think he might be a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on at Blue Chip, so it might not be our show. Sorry to keep the hopes low. But with Eric, it's just, I love him to pieces, but he is a sensitive soul. Although he's been amazing so far this year, he can still get easily overwhelmed. So we're just going to take each day as it comes. So we've got the boys ready to load. As I said though, I'm not sure how it's going to go with Eric, but Cass on the other hand is not spooky at all. Like, he's totally unflappable. He's super, super bold. He could just be too bold. So Cass's thing is that he can sometimes not be careful over like those smaller uprights. He'll jump a big oxer, like he'll give it loads of room, but if he can't be like motivated to pick up over a small upright, he's much better around like a bigger course. Whereas Eric is super careful but can be a bit spooky, so they're very different. Stables all ready. Drapes going up. Haylage. All settled in. Drapes are up. My haylage. Cass is in here, hiding in the corner, making friends with someone in the corner. Hello. There's a funny story behind this round and why there's no vlogging leading up to it. So I got to Blue Chip, settled the horses in, went down to walk my course, which was this course with Cass, which was our first 1 metre qualifier. And I was watching a few people jump. I was meant to be like 35th to go. And then as I'm standing down there, they call my name out to come into the warm-up with only 10 people to go. And Cass was literally standing in his stable, not tacked up, and I was absolutely panicking. I had to sprint back to the stable, tack him up, and I got down with like literally 3 people to go before me, so we were so unprepared for this round. And we literally had a trot round. We did like 1 fence and then we had to go in and jump because I had loads of people drop out of the class. So that was fun. But as you can see, Cass was being an absolute little legend, and even though I missed him to that fence there, and he jumped around clear. And not only did he jump around clear, it's quite a big competitive class. I think there's about maybe like 60 or 70 people in it. And he actually won it. He won the qualifier. I was literally so thrilled. We had such a hectic warm-up. We had no preparation for this. He went in cold and he jumped around clear and he won the bloody class. So I was literally thrilled with him. It was a great way to start the week, winning our qualifier on our first attempt, qualifying for the final at the end of the week.
Together for the winners of the Astronaut 1 metre restricted winter classic qualifier, led around by the winner of the class. It is Louis Chandler and Casanova.
Ready for the 120s. This was Eric's first class at Blue Chip, which, because of the class timings, this was the only class we could jump on that day. So it was the 120, which was only our second 120 ever, so really threw us in the deep end. And we just got a shit shot into fence 1. Like, I just got him deep and he came down on the back bar. And that was totally on me, but I came in a little bit tense because Eric was quite tense. And he's quite a spooky horse, so I came in this ring and he kind of like bulked at everything and was really backing off. So I was having to ride him very strong. And as you can see, he was giving the fences a lot of room. because he was gone very, very spooky on me. So I was really struggling to see my distances as he was backing off so much and then launching over the fences. But it's not our most graceful round, but like I said, it's only our second 120 ever. I was quite nervous and Eric was also quite spooky. I missed him into this one, he's so honest. And then it just messed us up for this distance. And what an honest little horse, look at him. Oh, I just rode that so terribly, and Eric just said, hang on, Mum, I got this. I was like, I really got to get my shit together. So this is where I started actually riding. He jumped absolutely phenomenally, and this final line is when we actually finally settled a bit, and he stopped spooking and backing off, and he just calmed down a little bit. But it was a really great round to do before our final the next day, just to kind of get in that arena, get Eric round that course, and for him to have seen all of the spooky banners and things. And he did such a great round. He only had the first fence down, which was literally completely my fault. So I was very, very proud of him. Now, this was day 2 of Blue Chip and the dreaded Star final. I was very nervous about this final. We qualified prior to this day, and it was a very competitive qualifier. It's known for being a very competitive class. The starting height's for metre 10, and he goes up to 120 in the jump off. And we only just about qualified for this. It was top 8 qualify, and at the qualifier we came 7th. And at the time it was the biggest track we'd jumped together. But obviously since then we've done a couple of 120s, so I was feeling more confident, but I was still very nervous. So the warming up is very important for Eric. He's a very tense and spooky horse. He's also horse shy, so warming up can be difficult, but it's just about getting him to relax and stretch his neck out. I'm not asking for any difficult schooling work. I don't care about what he's doing with his head. I literally just want him to relax. And it's a lot of trotting, some cantering, and I rarely jump in a warm-up. This day I didn't jump before I went in because it sometimes just winds him up too much. So I just do a lot of flat work, just trying to get him relaxed and calm before we go into the ring. So this was the first round of the Star final. Like I said, starting height 1 metre 10, and it's probably the most technical track we have ever ridden. It was extremely difficult, and out of 103 riders, there was only 23 clears in the first round. And we were one of those 23, and I was absolutely thrilled. My only goal for this class was to try and go clear in that first round, and I was just so proud of Eric. He jumped his absolute heart out for me. Around a very, very difficult track that was causing a lot of problems for very good horse and rider combinations. So I knew it was a big challenge. And the goal is to go clear in the first round, and then you get into the jump off where it goes up in height and you have less fences to jump, and it's a round against the clock. So for this round, the goal is just to go clear so you get through to the next round. And he was just phenomenal. We're coming up to the end of the course now. He'd been so careful. This double at the end, I talk more about this later, but it was set on an incorrect distance. And as you can see here, Eric really busts a gut to get over this clear. He jumped from miles away and he went clear, and I was absolutely thrilled. And I just wanted to add also this different angle of Eric's round because it's so cute. My friend Keris was filming for me, and their commentary in the background is just so sweet and supportive.
Lovely, Lily. Lovely, Lily. That's how I should have rode it. Slow, wall. Oh, good boy. Well done, Lily. Oh, good boy. Push. Go on. Oh, I love him. Go on, Eric. Oh, I love him so much. God, he's jumping his socks off.
He's jumping inside. This is horrible.
Go on, Lily.
He's just so careful. I really want her to get in the jump off.
Come on, Eric.
Go on.
Come on, Eric.
Go on.
Come on, Eric.
Eric. So just want to do a rundown of yesterday's final because it obviously did not go to plan, and I have a lot of opinions about it. Eric went clear in the first round. He was one of 23 clears out of 103 riders, which is a lot. It was a very, very technical course. And you'll probably see from that round, the double at the end of the course was very long. Now, when I walked it, it wasn't a correct one stride. It was like in between 1 and 2 strides. So it was a very, very long one stride. And it had a water tray under it as well, so they were all looking at the water tray. But Eric isn't spooky at water trays, luckily. But you can see in that first round, he really did struggle to make that stride at 110. He never normally has problems with one stride distances. Like we did the 120 the night before and didn't have a problem with the distance in the one stride. It was literally just that particular fence. But he did go clear, so I was absolutely thrilled with that. So we got into the jump off, and obviously the fences went up, and he went up to about 120, 125, and he was going so well. He's been jumping so carefully this weekend, and that one stride double, he just could not physically make the double. He tried so hard for me. We were spot on coming in. We had a forward canter, everything I thought about prior to jumping it, because I knew it was so long. And he just couldn't make it. He tried his heart out for me. Eric has never ever stopped at a fence with me before, so that was him telling me that he just could not make that distance. So I just gave him a pat. We retired. It wasn't going to happen. I'm really proud of him. I honestly did not expect to go clear in the first round. I was just thrilled. There's a little bit of me that is frustrated with the course building, because there were a lot of problems at that particular fence throughout the whole class. It was causing absolute carnage. There were only 3 double clears out of 103 riders. Now, they just made that jump off too difficult. It is a final, it's supposed to be technical, but it's not supposed to scare the horses, and it was scaring a lot of the horses. It was causing a lot of falls. It just wasn't what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a fast, competitive jump off. It's the fastest class of the show. Everyone always talks about it. I've watched it previous years. It's well known for being very fast and competitive, and it just wasn't that this year. They just made it too hard. They just made it too difficult. Horses were struggling. They couldn't make the distance. The fence was even bigger. The oxer was huge coming out of that double. And bless his heart, Eric. He nearly put 2 strides in. He nearly went on a 2 stride, and he went, "I just can't do it, Mum." And I went, "Okay, I hear you. I understand, it's okay." So that is us done for the first 2 days. He gets a day off today, which is Friday, and then he has his 95 qualifiers over the weekend. So now I've given a little bit of context to that jump off. I am going to show it here. I'm totally transparent and happy to show this jump off. Like I said, there was only 3 clears in this jump off. And it was causing absolute carnage. Like I said, I will die on the hill that one stride double did not walk as a one stride. And if you look at it here, you can see the fence I'm about to come into. It's visibly not a one stride. And he jumped in brilliantly, and he just could not make that distance. I wasn't the only one complaining about this. There was a lot of criticism about this particular star final. It was a big topic of conversation. And if you know me as a rider, you know I'm not about the win. I really was just happy to be there. So I'm not bitter over the fact that we didn't win or we didn't place. I am genuinely frustrated at the course building for that double, as it just wasn't safe and it wasn't kind, and it really did give him a fright. Mr. Casanova has been on incredible form. Of course, he won his 1 metre qualifier on the first day, which I couldn't believe. It was very competitive, but he was flying. Such a good boy. And then on the second day, we jumped the metre again just as a warm-up. We just had a really unlucky fence down. Then we jumped the 110. It's only our second 110 together. And again, we had a fence, but it was really unlucky. It was literally at fence 1. I just wasn't awake. It was this tiny upright. He wasn't looking at it, and he just touched it. It was just a shame, but he jumped really well. He was really confident. He was really taking me into them, and he is very good at putting up with my crazy long shots. And then we jumped the 110 again today. He did another really amazing round. And again, we had a really unlucky fence at the last this time. We had the first fence yesterday and then the last fence today. But he was jumping so well today, because I was a bit dodgy on the first few jumps. I was riding a little bit long, and I was kind of like, oh my goodness, and Cass was so honest to me. But as we came over fence 9, fence 10 blew down in the wind. So I was like, okay. So I had to stop. They had to buzz me to stop so they could rebuild the fence, because it was really windy, and then I had to start again. Obviously, stopping mid-round is not ideal. We kind of lost our flow a bit. But he popped 10 and 11, and unfortunately we just had the last number 12 down. But he has been jumping amazingly. And he has his 1 metre final later. He's saving his energy for that, and hopefully we'll go clear, Cassie. So this was one of my 1 metre 10 rounds on Cass. For those of you who don't know anything about Cass, he is a sales livery. So if you like the look of him, please drop me a message on Instagram. He is advertised on HorseQuest, and he's also advertised on my Instagram page. So if you like the look of him, drop me a message and I can forward you his advert and give you some more information. as he is for sale. He's a 16.3 10-year-old Belgian warm blood. He's previously jumped up to 120s, but we're currently jumping up to 110. I'm obviously a very amateur rider, and he puts up with a lot of shit from me. He's a very, very honest horse. He's not spooky at all. He and Eric are complete opposites in this regard. Eric is very tense and spooky, and Cass is just super chilled. It was blowing a gale all week at Blue Chip, and he's just not fazed by any bad weather or any fillers. Like, he's not a stopper. He's really very honest when you get a bad stride. As you'll see, I do fairly regularly on him. Him and Eric are very different rides, so sometimes I find the switch between them a little bit tricky, but he's so honest to me. And we do have a fence down in this round because the rider got a little bit excited in the jump off, as you can see, and I just let him get a bit too quick into that upright, which was totally my fault. He was jumping incredibly, and I just thought, oh, we're in the jump off, and I got a bit excited, and I should have just steadied him up into that upright, but he jumped his socks off for me, and he's just so much fun. He's a really cool horse, and he's going to make somebody an amazing show jumper. He'd be perfect for like a teenager or amateur rider. This is another one of our 1 metre 10 rounds. This was the next day. This is the round where we were literally very nearly clear, and then we had a fence blow down. But as you can see, I just came in. I just don't know what was going on with me, but I was seeing just long shots left and right. And then I saw a deep shot, and I was just all over the place, and Cass was being so honest, and he was leaving the fences up and down this line. It was meant to be 5 strides, and I just got him so long. And then I didn't check him, and we just went down on 4, and he just took off from miles away. And he's just so honest. Like, I really think this is important to show, because I am an amateur rider and I do make mistakes. This just shows how honest he is as a horse. And as you know, I really like to be honest about the horses I'm selling. And he's just a superstar. And I just came absolutely flying into this triple. I was just not on it this day, but he was leaving the fences up. He was jumping so well for me. And this was a very, very windy day. And they were having problems with the fences blowing down. So in a minute, fence 10 is going to blow down. But this is fence number 8. We've just entered the jump off. I'm getting ready to go. Flew over 9, and that's fence 10 on the floor. And I look round and I go, oh, okay. And then they buzz and they go, sorry, you're going to need to wait while we rebuild fence 10. So this is us skipping through the video, and this is how long I was waiting. I was waiting so long. We were walking around for ages as they were rebuilding fence 10, and Cass just switched off a little bit. He thought we were finished, and then I had to go again. And bless his heart, he did jump really well. I was really conscious I didn't want him to have this fence down because we just stood around for ages in the wind. But he was a really good boy, popped it, had a water tray under it, so that does make them a bit more careful. And then there's only the double and the final fence left to go. I was a bit disunited around this corner. We were just a bit all over the place. We lost our flow in our round. So we came down this distance here, and I just did not check him enough, and we got deep into the last, which is why he had it down. That was totally my fault. It was such a shame because it really should have been a clear round for him.
Muck out morning. Muck out morning. Hello. Besties. Having some walks.
He's wearing his hoof boots, his Cavallo hoof boots, so he doesn't stand on any stones. As most of you know, he's recently barefoot. And Cavallo very kindly sent me a set of hoof boots, as they did for Inky, my last horse, and because I love them so much, I obviously came back when I decided to go barefoot with Eric. And the Lorry Pock is really stony here, which is why he wears them to come out for walks. We're watching some jumping that's currently going on as he has his morning graze before he jumps this afternoon. He had a very nice day off yesterday, and hopefully he's feeling ready to go for our 95 qualifier today. Now this is Eric warming up for the 95 qualifier for the final. You actually had to qualify for the qualifier and then you jump the qualifier to then jump the final. It was very confusing. But this was a great step down for him after he had that little scare in the 1 metre 10 a couple of days before. But unfortunately, he's a very, very sensitive horse, and he had a moment, as you can see here. He's not done this
at all this year. He's not done this in so many months, and it really was because he got upset in that star final jump off. Like I said, he's such a sensitive horse, and he just got so stressed out. He was quite tense, and I was almost going to retire him. But then I managed to get him going, and he actually finished the round. There's me swerving round to fence 3. He actually finished the round really well, and I think he really needed it as a confidence boost. Like I said, it wasn't as bad as his, previous dramatic moments when we first got him. It was quite minor in comparison. If you've watched Eric's journey video, you'll know that. But like I said, it was a bit disheartening because he hasn't done that in so many months. He actually did a really nice round, but we did get 4 faults for the resistance, and we also got a couple of time faults in the first round because he wasted a lot of time just standing on 2 legs. But I was then just riding him really forward just to give him some confidence, as unfortunately this means we didn't get to the final, but I really just wanted him to have some nice confident rounds after we'd had that little blip in our jump off indoors. So he got a big pat for that, and bless him, he tried really hard because he was very, very tense. And this was the class the next day. This was our last chance to qualify, and I really, really wanted to try and qualify him for the final so we could try and get back in that indoor and have a nice positive round. And this round actually started really well. He had been very tense in the warm-up, so I was expecting him to nap. That's just why I spun him up to fence 3 there, so he didn't have any chance to go near the gate. He was jumping really well for me. This is obviously quite small for him, but it's really what he needed to boost his confidence. And, it was a very, very competitive class. Like, we really had to go for it in the jump off if we wanted to qualify. And unfortunately, that just let me down. He felt really good, and I thought, okay, we're going to go for it in the jump off. He's got his confidence back, and he just hadn't. As you can see, as we come round to fence 11, I do turn him to it, and he just naps away from the fence. And I was kicking myself for, I should have come wider to it. As you can see, there he goes. It was only little, like he just had a little nap out of it. But like I said, he was very tense. I really should have just given him a bit more room into that fence, as I knew he'd had a bit of a confidence knock. So that was me, and I'm kicking myself for that. But he finished the round and he got a big pat, and it's just one of those things when you have a sensitive horse like Eric. He will bounce back, but he's just going to need a few confidence rounds.
Home time. Home time. Home time for the boys. Hello everyone. So obviously it has been a little bit of a patchy vlog, especially on day 1 of Blue Chip. I did not have my timings correct for my classes, so I was running around like a headless chicken. And then on day 2, when I had the star final with Eric, I was quite nervous and a bit stressed, so I didn't want to vlog. Unfortunately, I don't have an extra person to film things for me. I either have to film it myself. My dad can sometimes film things, but he is normally just helping me tack up, helping me get ready. So I need to hire a cameraman to come around to help with my YouTube videos. But this hasn't been a vlog as such. I just have been documenting Blue Chip. It's been my first time ever attending Blue Chip, and it's definitely been on the bucket list. So I'm so grateful to Eric. It's just another amazing thing he's done for me, for getting us there, for qualifying us for 2 classes at Blue Chip, and he jumped so well for me. I'm really proud of him. And as well, even though the star final jump off didn't exactly go as planned, I am still so happy to have been there. We've come away with some things to work on. We have a bit of his confidence to rebuild, as clearly it has taken a bit of knock. He's such a sensitive horse, and he has been going so well this year. I've been so impressed with him this year. He's not done anything nappy. Nothing at all this year, and it's April, so the last time he did something like that was Aintree in November of last year, and it was quite severe. We got eliminated. Like, he had a really big meltdown. He was very, very anxious and stressed, and I'm so proud of how he has grown since then. Not only has he not done it for a long time, but even though he'd taken a confidence knock at Blue Chip, he still tried really hard and he didn't regress all the way back to square one. We've been knocked back to a couple of steps, but it's still so improved from where we started. So I think when you're at these shows and it doesn't exactly go to plan, it can very easily upset you. You can feel like everything's gone wrong. And actually, like, looking back at Blue Chip, it's been a pretty good show. It's not been perfect. It could have been better, but it could have also been a lot worse. I've had a lot worse shows. So I'm coming away feeling more positive than I did at the time. I think I was really I was so gutted that jump off had affected his confidence so significantly that it came out in 2 other rounds that we had to jump. But looking back, I know it's something we can work on. I know we can rebuild him. And I'm really proud of how he handled the whole atmosphere. I mean, I was expecting him to not be able to handle that indoor arena, because that championship arena had a lot going on. He's a very spooky horse. They had plants all by the fences. They had banners. They had stands. They had people. Big lights, music, everything. And I really did think he would get overwhelmed, but he did so well for me. I'm so proud of him, and I'm so proud of him for being one of those 23 clears in that star final first round. So there's a lot of good things to take away, and Cass was obviously incredible all week, so I'm very proud of him as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am going to make an effort to do a little bit more on YouTube. I have kind of been a bit patchy. I've been so busy running my business, but I have lots of things that I can document, and I know a lot of people are very interested in what I do for work and the business and stuff, so we'll be doing a little video about that. But thank you very much for coming along with me to do Blue Chip Champs. It's my first ever time, and I definitely will be aiming to qualify for next year. And it's been a really great show, and I'm very grateful to have 2 amazing horses to do it on at the moment. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.